think we're here in turn 7 of Age of Renaissance. I'm not positive. Let's take a look at what the card play was. I think everyone used their Urban Ascendancy. One person may not have. I think Barcelona may have passed on. Paris doesn't have it still. Let's look at what we had. Barcelona played a couple of cards. Silk card. Not big money for them. Helped out London more than them, actually. But they need cash. And they need whatever advantages they can get, even if it means helping the leader. And they also played the wool card. Same kind of situation. They got some money off of it. London got more, but they don't see themselves being able to gain much in the wool market. If anything, they're going to lose. So they had other plans, or have other plans towards the timber, and a card that they want to play at the end. Let's see, who's next? London. London had lots of cards. They finally played their spice card. Not the massive amounts they would have hoped for, but the amount they would have wanted earlier. They also played the metal card, which, because of the shortage, gave them and everyone else a decent amount of money. Played gunpowder for combat, and revolutionary uprisings, which shot a number of people up. And London almost as much as anyone. Only Venice beat them in the misery index, but London's not really losing any ground by playing that, and they didn't see a reason to hold it till the very end. Hamburg put Columbus out finally. They put 15 bucks on him because there's a lot of people who need the New World. Well, everyone needs the New World, and there's a decent number of people who need the ocean navigation still. They think they're going to collect some decent money off that. They're planning on using it themselves. They played a couple of cards. Spice. Why Spice? Again, that helps London, but it helps Hamburg too. And they're not planning on focusing on Spice. They don't think they're going to make more money off of it. And they played the wine card. Helps Genoa more than them, but they're not too worried about Genoa. And with the shortage in play, they're getting more from the wine than they would otherwise. Go on to poor Paris. Paris played the ivory card, which again helps Genoa more than them, but they want some cash. Basically, there's a few people at the bottom. Paris is saying, you know, maybe I can finish not in last. That would be something of a victory. That's about where you have to start thinking in this game. Paris is almost guaranteed last place. Whatever they can do to edge them over, say Barcelona or maybe Genoa, but in this case they're boosting Genoa, they've got to try to take. We go over to Barcelona, who also thinks they're kind of behind. They played the metal and the stone resources. Metal, same reason as everyone else. Let's collect some money. Stone, Hamburg gets an advantage on them there, but again, they get money on most other people, so it seems worthwhile. They played a rebellion, which they put into place here in Florence. They're planning on trying to take some extra cloth. They have a cloth card. Not a big payoff. They also have the wool card with the express intention of hurting London. They're hoping someone, maybe Paris, will try to increase the amount of wool and is continuing to struggle there. Right now, they just don't want to give that cash to London particularly. They're willing to pay an extra couple bucks to prevent that. And finally on to Venice. Well, Venice has a few resources in hand. They want to aim for the spice. They might be able to get the wine triggered. So they spent the gold. They gained as much as anyone, but gold is usually a nice card to try to increase your power with. And they were actually in a position where they could maybe get a little bit more gold. But again, you got to make these choices. If you try to hold everything and go for everything, you'll get nothing. Oh, I forgot about London played Bartolomeu de las Casas, who gives him a cosmopolitan here. And you know, the freebie that nobody can tag along with. Tagging along's kind of nice. If you place it here, you have to play. If you're the first player placing it, has to go here. No one can share it. It's kind of was a tricky choice there, but you know, might as well get your bonus. The game may end this turn for all they know, so they might as well get a cheaper cosmopolitan. I'll go on to the purchases next. Well, as with most turns, I'm partway through just finished Paris. Let's take a look at what some of the winners and some of the losers have done. I may have to come back for Venice, but right now, London and Hamburg, the guys with the big piles of cash at this point. Well, London went and grabbed themselves Laws of Matter, Interest and Profit, Industry, Master Art, New World, and Cosmopolitan. They didn't have quite enough money to push it to the end this turn, so they held an extra $100 or so for next turn for the Interest and Profit to kick in, so that they'll be able to not only buy everything, but maybe have a little bit of an edge. Got their misery down. You see, Hanover got theirs even down further, and their purchases ran along the Enlightenment, which reduces the cost of the misery relief. Proselytism, why? Well, because they want to get as many bonuses as they can. So they took the misery penalty for that in order that they can get the extra, what, $20 credit towards Cathedral next turn. Interest and Profit and Industry, those are just such valuable things if you can grab them both. Interest and Profit, well, Hanover couldn't hold the kind of money, or Hamburg couldn't hold the kind of money that London could hold and buy all this stuff, but they're counting on getting a couple more payoffs of this. They came early in the turn, and it's kind of a bonus when you have the Interest and Profit, because you can still spend your cards. Normally, the money that you put on these, if you play early in the turn, you don't get to use until the next turn. Well, this time you get to use it as Interest and Profit, and that adds to their value. But they may not get it, the full value, the $117 that they're producing in income right now, and that London is as well in their investment back. They also picked up New World, and they did not buy Middle Class. That was one of their first things they were going to do. But then they said, you know, even though I've got all the advantages for it, there's other things that seem more important. So they too are following kind of the same pattern as London is. Just a few things open. They didn't have quite enough money to buy everything. They were a little closer than London probably. And in fact, if they got the cash off of Columbus, hey, maybe they could have done it. But right now they look like they're a little bit in the lead from their point of view. I'm not sure everybody in the world sees it that way, though. Okay. Although they did pull more total value than London did. And they got helped, I think, by more of the cards that were played this turn. So maybe people are beginning to turn away from them. It's just London's looked like the bunny for so long. And they have this position still over here in the east. It's easier to hit than maybe Hamburg's positions over here or in the far north. Although just about anything on the map is pretty easy to hit. What else we have? Well, we have to go on. Let's look at what Paris did. Poor Paris, right? Holy Indulgences, finally. And Overland East and Urban Ascendancy. I mean, these were things that people were picking up in the earliest turns. And Paris is just catching up with those. They've been that hosed behind. I've still got a couple more people to play. Barcelona, somewhere in between the realm here. They only got Improved Agriculture, Ocean Seaworthy. They're just making it into, you know, the world that that all the winners are playing. Genoa should also be joining the ocean going at this point, I think. We'll see. Well, England's gunpowder card helped them a little bit defensively because both Hamburg and Venice went after them pretty hard. Hamburg actually succeeded pretty well, grabbing a lot of the Black Sea stuff. But Venice failed completely in trying to take the two other spice things they could reach. See who gets the most. The Londoners went and took the New World completely. So they've got two added things, that's it. The French, or Parisians, who are from Wales or something now, took two as well. We've got a Barcelonan, two Genoans, and Hamburg looks to have the lead with a whole pile of stuff, so they're going to get a card. And ooh, it's not a terribly valuable one. Genoa bought the 3-point card. I think nobody else got one. And now, I guess we do the bookkeeping stuff. Got to remember the interest and profit. Last turn, Venice didn't get much from it with $5, and this turn they actually don't have as much money as the people who just bought it. In fact, realizing they were going to be that far behind, they actually didn't save money for it. They're trying to make that spice work for them, but it's not going to happen. All right, well, let's see what it all works out as. Well, after the New World bonus and the shortages and surpluses, the misery track kind of spread out. Hamburg still has its little bonus there. It's kind of nice that the cloth has a shortage. For someone, I think they're holding cloth, but wine having a surplus, well, that same someone there may be unhappy about that. The card comes out. Bids. Bids were kind of all over the place here. The low bid here is Hanover, or Hamburg, at 4, sorry. Next one is London at 5. And then we jump to Genoa at 6. Okay, doesn't sound like they're all over the place yet. But now we start going. Venice at 18 gets 4th place. I don't know if they were expecting to get that low. Position, Barcelona bids 23. And Paris bids 30. Now, and that's all of Paris's tokens. That's an effect you see in the game sometimes. People who are falling behind just say, you know, the hell with it, I'll buy lots and lots of tokens. It doesn't help. There is nothing that helps. There is nothing, and I'm not just talking about at this point in the game. At other points too, there is no way to come back when you're falling that far. Basically, there's no way to bring the real winners down, and that's always been kind of one of my grumps about the game, is people who kind of know how to maintain their lead. As long as they don't get unlucky, there's nothing anyone in the game can do. There's nothing any coalition can do to crush them completely. You can take all their provinces that are in Europe, but they'll have run ahead of you into the New World, into the external areas. You can make it really hard on them. Now, this game hasn't been in that position because Hamburg and London have both been kind of running away. So there's been no absolute, we can just concentrate on defeating this one person. The hope was that they'd knock each other down, but that doesn't happen either. Anyway, we'll push forward, and I'll load this one up.